Hi there, welcome back to Miss Johnson's Read Aloud Time. We're going to continue on with my book recommendations, and I'm actually going to do two books today. I'm going to do two books because they're pretty short, they're pretty fun, and they are also by the same author. And I think it's important to look at the author to kind of discuss why I like this author and the similarities and differences between the two books. They're really quick, they're really fun, they got a lot of cool things about them that I'm going to point out, so here we go. Okay, so the author that I'm going to talk about today is called Peter H. Reynolds. So he wrote two very amazing books. So these books are loved by teachers, and we're going to kind of talk about why. It has to do with art, but if you apply it to anything in your life, I think these messages have a really cool story. So we're going to start with the first one that I ever read by him, which is called The Dot. So here we go. The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed her marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There. So there's her teacher. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quickly said, "Now sign it." Sign it. Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name." Sign your name. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot. She had drawn the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can do a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the red. She discovered that she could make purple dot. Vashti kept experimenting. Lots of little dots and many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed colors with a bigger brush on a bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. Bigger dots. And then look, there's a dot in the center with color around it. It's pretty creative. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. All the different dots. Vashti smiled. She handed a boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Please sign it." All right, so what I like about this story is, she's really struggling with her art. She doesn't think she's a good artist. But then she has somebody who is there for her and believes in her and saw something beautiful in the thing that she had made, even though it was just kind of meh. She kind of threw it aside, and it became such a big thing. So it really shows like how powerful somebody can help you, and also like how important the things that you do are, and you can create something amazing just by something really simple. So even if you say you're not an artist, she wasn't an artist either until she started to see something powerful in the dots that she was drawing. So I really like that one. Let's get into the next book. So the next book is called Ish. It is by Peter Reynolds. So Ish. So already I see some similarities because look, got a paintbrush, and the pictures look very, very similar to the dot. Okay. Ramon loved to draw. Anytime, anything, anywhere. One day, Ramon was drawing a vase of flowers. His brother Leon leaned over his shoulder. Leon burst out laughing. "What is that?" he asked. Ramon could not even answer. He just crumpled up the drawing and threw it across the room. Leon's laughter haunted Ramon. He kept trying to make his drawings look right, but they never did. After many months and many crumpled papers, Ramon put his pencil down. "I'm done." Interesting color choice here that Peter H. Reynolds had used. Just pointing it out. Mary Sol, his sister, was watching him. "What do you want?" he snapped. "I was watching you draw," she said. Ramon sneers. "I'm not drawing. Go away." Mary Sol ran away, but not before picking up a crumpled sheet of paper. "Hey, come back here with that." Ramon raced after Mary Sol, up the hall and into her room. He was about to yell, but fell silent when he saw his sister's walls. He stared at the crumpled gallery. So look, there's a bunch of crumpled pieces of paper on her wall. "This is one of my favorites," Marisol said, pointing. "That was supposed to be a vase of flowers," Ramon said, "but it still doesn't look like one." "Well, it looks vase-ish," she exclaimed. So it's vase-ish. Vase-ish? Ramon looked closer. Then he studied all the drawings on Marisol's wall and began to see them in a whole new way. They do look ish, he said. Ramon felt light and energized. Thinking ishly allowed his ideas to flow freely. He began to draw what he felt. Loose lines quickly springing out without worry. Ramon once again drew the world around him. Making the ish drawings felt wonderful. He filled his journals. Tree-ish, house-ish, boat-ish, afternoon-ish, fish-ish, sun-ish. So there's him drawing. And there's all his ishes. Ramon realized that he could draw ish feelings too. Peace-ish, silly-ish, excited-ish. His ish art inspired ish writing, and wasn't sure if he was writing poems, but he knew they were poem-ish. So it says ponder, ponder, dream, yonder, pon, yon, gleam, wander. By Ramon. One spring morning, Ramon had a wonderful feeling. It was a feeling that even ish words and ish drawings could not capture, and decided not to capture it. Instead, he simply savored it. So he's just chilling, happy. And Ramon lived ishfully ever after. So interesting, the color on him as well. All right, so this Itch story is really interesting to me as well because it kind of has the same message of the Dot, where this person is really discouraged by the things that they're presenting, but then they had somebody else to believe in them and love the work that they were presenting, and then they found some really good things out of it, where they kind of took their idea that had originally been a mistake and then turned it into something really powerful. So one thing I like to tell my students a lot is we learn from the mistakes that we make and we grow from them, and that's kind of what these two stories represent. So we kind of got to see two characters kind of what we say evolve, mean they got to grow and become more inspired by the work that they were doing. So we call that a growth mindset, where you start to think about the things that the mistakes you're making and learn from them and grow from them and try and become better with them and use them to your advantage. You know, these were all mistakes that they had made, but then they started to grow from them. And find people in your life that really inspire you, right? Ramon didn't really have somebody to inspire him at first, but then he had his sister luckily there. So look for those people in your life. So anyway, I hope you liked both of those stories. I thought it would be cool to talk about an author and how the books are very similar. The pictures are awesome and really detailed, colorful, very different from Shel Silverstein, but still kind of quirky and fun. So I hope you like those two books. Let me know. Bye. Thank you.